Okay, hi everybody, Jamie Magaldi, Wilmington Public Works. I wanted to show you what happens, kind of the science behind how a tree feeds itself. This is a freshly cut Canadian hemlock. This was cut last week. And here's the stump, and you can see the growth rings are pretty evident. There's about 30 to 35 growth rings here, indicating the tree is about that old. Here's the center. You see here the outer bark layer. All of the nourishment of a tree actually is around the perimeter, right under the bark, but before the wood begins. There is a layer called the cambium layer. You see it here, and that's where all the water is transported from the roots up the tree. And it's also where all the food is transported from the needles collecting sunlight and traveling down the tree. And that back and forth transport is what keeps the tree alive. And you'll see, because it's freshly cut, looks like it's, the wood is still yellow. And you can see the sawdust here. Actually, we have some insects that are starting to bore through the open wood. And anytime you cut into a tree, you make an avenue for insects and fungus to enter. And right next to it is another hemlock that was cut last spring, about 5 months ago. And you see what happens when left alone. Fungus will actually get a hold of infiltrate the wood, and on softwoods like this, it develops what's known as brown rot. And you see it in the dark blotches all around the wood here. This is a brown rot that's infected the tree and will slowly start to decompose the stump. And conversely, I know we cut this tree down, but whenever a tree is wounded or the bark's torn off, that's what happens. Fungus will... You've created an entry for that fungus to infiltrate. You remove the armor around the tree and it will infiltrate. And if it gets to the cambium layer, that's what's going to kill the tree. And certainly this tree is no longer because we cut it down, but you want to be careful that you don't remove the bark on any tree because you're exposing the cambium to fungus. And if you remove the cambium layer, the food source will stop, the water source will stop, and the tree will die. And that's a little bit of science behind how a tree feeds itself.